Hello, I'm speaking with Dr. Allison Parker about one of America's most urgent education challenges, child literacy. If you're a parent of a struggling reader, please know you are not alone. Consider this: 65% of fourth graders in the US read below proficiency levels. For students with dyslexia, that number climbs to over 80%. Dr. Allison Parker brings 25 years of classroom experience and a Ph.D. in literacy education to this question. Her book, Mom is the Missing Link: The Power is Within You. Dr. Parker, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
First, I want to explore that statistic from the US Department of Education. As a teacher and literacy coach, what was your experience in the classroom and what did you see?
Yes. So in September, I noticed. So every single year at the beginning of the school year, we all assess our students. We have data in a file that says that at the end of third grade, the students were here. And what I noticed when I listened to my students read, the data that I observed didn't match the data on those record cards. So many of my students were very disfluent readers. They didn't know their sight words. They couldn't decode multisyllabic words. They had no word solving skills. They had no ability to decode unknown words. They had no strategies under their belt at the fourth grade levels. When I was in the classroom, my focus was primarily on using data to drive instruction. So, supporting my students, usually as teachers, we put students in groups. So, you have a top group, a middle group, and a lower group. And my focus was always on all three groups, particularly that bottom one third group. Those were my struggling readers. They got more of my attention. So, instruction was focused on supporting them in literacy. Once I stepped outside the classroom after 26 years of teaching, I became a literacy coach. And then I saw a different lens. Many teachers have the best hearts and the best intentions, but through decisions, many of them outside of their control, are not able to support our most vulnerable students for a variety of reasons. One being their education just doesn't support students who have dyslexia, which is a language based learning disability. So maybe their teacher education programs didn't focus on helping and teaching students that are the most vulnerable, the most challenged to teach. And so they're at a loss because they just don't have the knowledge base. And so I made it my mission to do something about it.
So, with that said, you have your readers that are challenged, and then you add those with dyslexia to that. Has it become a crisis?
It is a crisis. It is a crisis. I believe it's America's biggest crisis. Homelessness is important. Our national debt is important as well. There's the student loan crisis, but illiteracy is a huge crisis. I believe it's at the highest level, and it's an emergency that we do something more to close the reading achievement gap, which is what led me to write this book.